Okay, we're in the studio. Lighting's not the best, but we'll do what we can. Let me see if I can raise it all up. Or you guys think that's enough? You can kind of see what I'm doing. I was gonna do a video. Well, first of all, I'm still alone here, so I'm just gonna put the lights up and stuff because it seems a little too low. So let me put this up a little bit. Let's see if that works. Let's see, guys. I just can't preview it before the live stream. It's not that I want to be a mess. I just can't preview when I do it on my phone. So yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday's Live. I'm here at the studio today on the downstairs part of the studio, which is where I have more of a photography studio, even though it's not really my thing to work in the studio. But I want to show you some of the medium format cameras I use at the studio and tell you which one I like and why, and which one I don't enjoy and why. After last week's scanning marathon, I thought it'd be interesting to show something a little different. And so far, I've never done much of a roundup of what I use. So yeah, hi to everyone that said hello so far. Comments kind of disappear on the screen, and I'm a little out of reach of my phone, so if I take a sec to read certain comments, let me know. So I brought back from home, because I've been taking things back to home, the Fuji GW680 number 3 6x8 camera. Hey, Hal, nice to see you. I brought the Mamiya RZ with a 110 normal RZ, nothing special. Then I brought the Bronica GS1, which I've been trying to use, and I'll explain why I mean trying to use. You can see it's the GS1 here, if exposure was right there. And then here on the table that you can't see, I have a bunch of gear that I use for workshops. Hasselblad 501C. We have Hasselblad ELM, which Hal actually just joined us, is selling a kit of a Hasselblad with 2 lenses and stuff. I highly recommend Hal, and I highly recommend this camera, like I said on a video. Then we have Pentax 6x7 II. I think everyone's favorite Pentax. My favorite and least favorite, because it's jammed twice and it's non-operative right now, and it's just sitting here and it sucks. So Pentax. Then we have Pentax 6x7 that everyone doesn't like so much, but actually works fine. I bought it being a little broken, and remember the image is mirrored, so it says Pentax the other way. This camera just was broken, and I fixed it. It had a problem with focusing screen, which I'll make a video how to calibrate the focusing screen on this Pentax. And it's an awesome camera, as you might have known. But yeah, it's one of my favorite. I should shoot more on the Pentax. Then we have another Hasselblad, a 500 CM, which is my favorite one, favorite body, and I'll tell you why too. We have another Mamiya RZ with a 180 millimeter soft lens, which I made an unboxing and hope to share some results soon. I have 3 RZs. A little bit more about that in a sec. The third Mamiya RZ with a 140 macro and the prism, which helps to shoot up, like, you know, when you're shooting portraiture, you can actually see what you're doing. There you go, focused. I love the bellows. Let me see, what else do I have? I have Yashica Matte 124G. I've had a lot of TLRs, and this one has become, I think, the most probably the cheapest, best quality results and consistency in mechanics that I've had. I've had the Rolleiflex 2.8F, the 2.8E3 or something like that, and they've all failed in some way. So I became a big fan of these Yashica inexpensive. These go for around 200 euros, 250 bucks. You can get them cheaper too. I wouldn't pay more than that because there's so many, you can get them. And then I have a Mamiya C330, which you guys can see. Also, love Mamiya. Bellows on cameras. I mean, you can't have enough cameras with bellows, basically. So yeah, this one's a little funky. Has the pentaprism, which is big and bulky. Lenses are a little slow and stuff. I gotta fix it. I have two bodies, and the idea is to make out of the two bodies one functional. But awesome camera, Mamiya C330. It's not the Pro S. I did have the Pro S back in the day, but I ended up with the normal one. I bought like a kit from a wedding photographer in Miami. And then I have a bunch of lenses. I have some more stuff here, which let me see. Sorry guys. Rolleiflex SL66. Also kind of busted, awesome camera. Sadly, they are easy to break and hard to fix. So yeah, also bellows. And this one not only has bellows, but has the whole tilt thing. So you can tilt the lens, and then you can rise the lens, you see? So it goes down, and so that you can achieve depth of field. One thing that nobody tells you about this camera is if you're shooting landscape and you want to do that tilt movement, you are usually shooting at infinity or close to infinity, and when it's very close to the body, it won't do the whole 8 degrees because it has these 8 degrees. Let's see if the phone will focus. Well, it has 8 degrees that goes down and up. So it won't let you do it. One cool thing is the logo moves when you move it. It's like stuck together. So as you rise and fall, the logo goes up and down. But yeah, cool camera. I should use it more, but it's a little broken. Mainly, I don't know if I have film in it, but mainly when you shoot, it won't shoot, and then suddenly it'll shoot. You have to kind of like tap it a little bit. Something's wrong inside. What else do we have? We have a Horseman 6x9 camera, and these cameras are amazing. And let me show you why, if I remember how to open it. There we go. Not only do these lenses, these cameras are like a mini large format camera, but they have like all the movements you could think of. Excuse the slow opening. All the movements you could think of. Like it has rise and fall. So let me see. I always forget how to do all these things. Oh yeah, look. It's geared. Like this, how can this not be available on field cameras? Like, look how small this camera is. How can they not put that geared rise on other cameras? And it has movements, it has swing, it has like shift, it has tilt, it has so much stuff. This one is by hand, one way or another. The top one, can't remember which one that one was. Probably to lock that one in. That's locked. Then you have on the bottom, let's see if I remember how to do this one. Oh yeah, look, shift. How can you make shift in such a small body? Like, look at the size of that. But it shifts. And not only does it shift, but it has swing the other way, or how do you call it? I always forget the names of these things. But yeah, amazing camera. It has a rangefinder patch, and you guys can even see through the frame lines. Let me see if I can take it all the way to you. You see the frame lines in there? You can kind of see them in there. But yeah, awesome camera. Don't use it enough because it's like a mini 4x5 and I end up taking the 4x5 out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Changed the Pentax for this camera and it's pretty nice. The grip kind of like gives it an easy way to carry, but it also has this grip on the side. It's supposed to be used as a rangefinder too, but it's just not very useful as a rangefinder. Plus I have the cam, and even though it needs calibrating, so something's wrong with it. This one's not mine, it's my partner's, but Pentax 6.7, missing a lens, I think he's using it. Yashica 635, also my partner's, never used it. So yeah, that's all the gear. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can show you. But it's pretty crazy. The other way around. That's all the gear. If you have any questions about any of this gear, let me know. I wish I could fit everything in there. So yeah, let me start by explaining, take my shoes off. By explaining why is the Mamiya RZ 6x7 my favorite camera, okay? I want to make a whole video about every single thing I'm going to say about each camera. I want to make a video. One thing I'm going to say beforehand, and I might make a video just for that, is Instagram came out with their Instagram TV thing. Sorry, got a dust. And do you still have the 6x12? I do have the 6x12, but it's not mine. So I left it at home, so just in case anything would happen at the studio, it wouldn't be a problem. Why did I buy the GS one? I'll talk about that too. So what I was going to say, Instagram came out with the Instagram TV, and I know a lot of people are not liking it and the idea of Instagram trying to get into the game of longer videos, but I'm going to decide to embrace it. I'll make a video about it on YouTube to explain why and how I'm going to use it. But expect some content there. If you use Instagram, I'm at Nicolas Yasera, NicolasLlasera. Or you can also find me by hashtag Nico's Photography Show. And I usually tag my stuff like that. I think it's on the description, stuff like that on the YouTube channel. You can find me. But I'm going to be posting on the Instagram TV videos in vertical. So yeah, it'll be vertical. So you can watch on your phone while you're on the metro or on the bus or on an airplane or whatever you want to do. You should put the theme news on. The news. I should do the news on the Instagram Live or Instagram TV. So I will be doing that. I'll be posting their reviews. I'll take it more with a bit of humor, just to make it a little funner. I will be making quicker videos shot on my phone, no edits, just straight from the phone onto Instagram Live. I bought a little light for my phone so I can have a bit of light when I'm shooting, because I'll be shooting out and about or at home or in the studio at work, whatever. But yeah, just so you guys know, I'll be creating content on Instagram TV for the fun of it, no for any other reason. I don't think Instagram, at least with their algorithms, is not the best place, but I still think it's pretty fun. Nekitanet says, the only issue with me with Instagram TV is the terms of service. Oop, let me see, I couldn't read that. And losing part of her intellectual property rights on anything you post to Instagram and Instagram TV, as I understand, perpetual licensing. I haven't read the terms of service. I understand it could be an issue to a lot of people. The content I'm going to be posting there is going to be, let's say, quirky in the sense that if they want to use it for any other thing, good for them. I really don't mind. I'm not one of those people. I do think that being online is probably already losing all your rights to anything. Like if you have a picture online you've lost your rights to it. My work online is usually low quality stuff, bad scans like you saw last week. And anything that I care about is on physical paper, on prints that I would sell, ship, and whatnot. Everything else, I don't mind. If someone steals a video of mine and posts this as theirs, it's going to be my face all over the place. So, you know, they can take advantage of my face and put it anywhere they want. I'm not going to be too concerned. But yeah, so let's talk about Instagram Live. I'll be making videos. I'll make a video about that. So let me start with why is my Mamiya RZ 6x7 my favorite medium format camera. Mostly for what I shoot. So, hey Hogarth, we're here at the studio because I asked Hogarth the studio at home and he said studio. So I decided to do medium format. So the Mamiya RZ 6x7 is my favorite camera except for two things that I'm not so happy about. First one being size. It's pretty bulky and heavy, but moving around with large format, this becomes not so big. Second one would be the fact that the max shutter speed is 1/400th of a second. So if you can see it there, it's, yeah, it won't focus. 1/400th of a second is the maximum shutter speed. So if you're out shooting in daylight, you might want to use a low speed film. But yeah, benefits of the Mamiya RZ, which is everything apart from those two. Bellows, okay? This I cannot talk enough about. Like these bellows that you get close up, and let me just show you how close we can be. Like I'm focused there basically. I can't see it with the lens, and this is the 110. So you see how far I am. Like I can touch the phone. It's basically my arm's half my arm's length. That bellows makes you shoot portraiture, details, close-ups, or whatever you want. No issue. If you want to do closer, there's step-up rings. There's the macro lens, which is actually this lens here is the macro lens, which lets you shoot really up close. So there we are, focused, and it's 140 millimeters. So all I'm seeing is the phone, just so you know. And then you can use the extension. The bellows can light leak. I mean, yeah, bellows can light leak, but the only camera on medium format that I've had light leaks all over the place is the Hasselblad. It's the worst camera in results I've had. And I mean me. I don't mean you. I don't mean your neighbor. I don't mean your cousin, your photographer in your town. I went to my honeymoon with this camera, Mamiya 7, and this camera broke a light seal. It went into the frame. You can't see that while you're shooting because you're looking at your beautiful viewfinder in here. You're seeing everything perfectly fine. And thankfully, I was in the middle of a very boring ferry trip during inside one of those New Zealand sounds, which the ferry was boring. The New Zealand sound was amazing. And I was bored and I took off the back and I had no film and I pulled out the dark side and I saw the strip of light seals and realized, pulled it off, and I had light leaks, I had frames lost all throughout my honeymoon. So that's what happened with Hasselblad. I've had Hasselblads jam, I've had Hasselblads have problems with the focusing screens, I've had Hasselblads, you know, all these problems with them. So yeah, I have them. I do have them. This one I bought recently for workshops from a friend that gave me an awesome deal because he knows the workshops were important for me. But yeah, that's my main issue. So yeah, my favorite camera overall is the Mamiya. As I was saying, bellows, lenses are amazing. Mamiya sharpness is like another dimension. I know a lot of people love Zeiss. I love Mamiya. Then second thing, rotating back. Your 6x7 portraiture, landscape. And that's how easy it is. You don't have to be turning things sideways. You don't have to be doing anything. Then interchangeable backs, which is amazing. You can just take them off, put them on. They're always hard to put on, but that's about it. Viewfinders, you got this one. You got the prism, which is over here, which makes it much heavier and bigger. But yeah, this is by far my favorite camera. And then using it is so nice, like the Advance. Do I have film on this? No. The Advance just feels like it's ergonomic. You see this? It's awesome to Advance. Then you've got the macro here. So if you're doing close-up work, you know how much to expose. or overexpose. So yeah, favorite camera. The Hasselblad, you want to go close up, you need extension rings. Extension rings, if you don't put them on the right way, it just jams. So if you don't do, you have to put the extension first, then the lens, and then you have to take off the lens and then the extension. If you take the extension and the lens off at the same time, you've jammed it. You have to go ahead and caulk the lens with the extension and then put it back on the body. Then you have to calculate the exposure every single time you want to shoot. If you're going, you know, the 0.20 extension or 0.16 or 0.10, or I mean 10, 16, 22, they're different ratings. You have to calculate it. You have to grab your thing and make a little notes and be like, I got to overexpose this much and that much. And I learned that because I was doing portraiture with the 150 and I was trying to get up close because yeah, minimum focus on this thing is 5 feet. So let me see how close I can get. This is a 150. Remember I had a 110. So 5 feet. Let me walk away, whoop, there we are. So you see how close I am and how close I was with the Mamiya. This is a 150, that's a 140. See the difference. I can't even reach. I'm probably like 1.5 meters away. And if you want to go close up, and I was trying to do shots of the face, is just horrible, horrible camera for that. So I grab a Mamiya RZ, I put a 6x6 back, and I'm good to go. That's one of the reasons. Second, advancing. This one's automatic advancing. You reach your hand to touch mine. Hogarth is always going to be the funny guy. Advancing on the Hasselblad when you're shooting. Shoot. Best advance is this one, this little knob. This is the easiest one to shoot and advance. But if you're going from this, ooh, I don't have the other knob. The other knobs are actually like a round thing. Let me see. Did I not advance this properly? There we go. The other ones are a round thing and they're really to advance. So yeah, I like the Mamiya much better. Kyle, do you use the Rollei 6008 much? Kyle, it wasn't mine. I used it a little bit, but it was so electronic. It was actually pretty amazing in the sense of being up to close with the Pentax 6x7 in terms of like electronics. Like the viewfinder showed you all the information you need. You had everything you wanted there. I'm trying to see if I can focus. This is the 150. So the 150 on 6x7 Pentax is focused there. Pretty much the same as the Hasselblad. 1.5 meters, 5 feet. Jonas says, let me see. Hi, Nico. RB or RZ? To me, the RB has the benefit of being all mechanical, but the camera just feels a little bit less polished than the RZ. The fact that I think, and don't get me wrong, I've never used the RB properly. I've had it in my hands a few times. The fact that when I shoot, I can advance and that's it. And you see the film. Look at this film here. When I advance, whoop, film advances. When I shoot, film advances. That's awesome. On the RB, as far as I know, you have to advance here, then you have advance the back, and then you're ready for the next shot. Benefits, this one's electric. Never had one fail on me with the electronics, but the RB doesn't. The lenses on this are superb, and this can use the RB and the RZ lenses. The RB can only use the RB lenses, so something to consider. So yeah, Hasselblad has been an amazing camera so many times. The lenses render amazing. My favorite lens on the Hasselblad, which I don't own right now, is the 60mm. The 80 is just a tad too long and not wide enough. The 150 is awesome, but it's kind of heavy. But the 60 to me rendered beautifully. The RB is a toilet and toilet paper. The RZ is a toilet with a big, same function, so much more refined. Okay, so that's for the RZs and the Hasselblads. The electric one is awesome. It has this extra part that shoots. I can't shoot right now because I don't have the batteries inside. But yeah, every time you shoot, it just advances on its own. It's pretty cool. When you're shooting on a studio like we are right now, that's the seamless, which I installed, which I wish I knew how to do. You see? Doesn't work properly. And now it'll come down. So if you're shooting in the studio, this is awesome because you can be shooting, and you just have to change. If you're shooting models or you're shooting people in the studio, don't shoot one shot, then wait 10 minutes. Usually you have to shoot a lot to get the right moment, the right face expression and such. My rate on shooting portraits with a Hasselblad portraiture in the studio or anywhere is one shot every 12. So one of every roll comes out good to print. Jonathan says, had nearly everything in medium format, but no RB or RZ. Pentax 6x7 was just too massive, the mirror. I've never had issues with the mirror on the Pentax. I know it's a big thing about people saying the slap. I never shoot when there's not enough light. I take a 35 and I shoot when I want to do that. Sadly, where Mamiya's 35 SLR is not so popular. I've never used a 35 SLR from Mamiya or Rolleiflex or anyone like that. When I had 35mm cameras, I mostly shot Nikons, f4, f5, the f80 or n80, depends on you were in Europe or not. Those were the ones I used, and then I stopped using 35 because I was scanning flatbed and it was horrible. And then I started medium format, loved it, stayed in medium format, and from there moved to Leica and loved it. So I've never gone back to an SLR on 35. So then, as I was saying, why do I also love the C330? I needed at least 1/250th of a second with a 2.4. I think I read Jonas. Jonas, I've shot with this on the 2.4. At 1/60th, no issues at all. But I know it depends on the camera, depends on your hand. Some people have strong hands and strong arms, and my hands don't vibrate at all. Like, I've got really steady hands. I never use the mirror lockup. I actually made a video on how this is pretty much unnecessary, even for night photography, probably more. I never use the mirror on any of my cameras. So yeah, I never had an issue with this camera down to 1/60th or so. I mean, sometimes you do get a blur, but that's mostly if I never shoot one shot. I always shoot multiple shots of everything. So I was going back to the TLRs. TLRs, what's not to love about bellows? Once again, yeah, bellows can light leak. Never had a leak on these. And the lenses can be changed, which is pretty awesome. I still have to make a video where I take a sledgehammer. Wait, I need to read that comment. Sledgehammer to a Mamiya 35 with a fixed lens. It has mold in the lens, so don't worry, nothing worthwhile will be lost. Yeah, that'd be fun to watch. I've been thinking of sledgehammering the Pentax 6x7 too. This camera has just kept on giving me problems, and it's not worth selling to someone to pass on the problems to them, unless you want to buy it with problems. So the Mamiya C330, awesome interchangeable screens, focusing screens, prisms, lenses, bellows, takes 220 film without any special thing. You can change lenses mid-roll because it has this little thing here that has like a little lock, blop, blop, goes up and down. I don't know if I had film on this, probably not. I don't even remember where the film counter is. And it's because it's probably busted, so I never remember to use it properly. Oh, it's at 0. So yeah, if you take off the lens, you can see that little thing that goes up and down. You see on the bottom? You see here? You can change lenses midway. So that's pretty amazing. Plus the lenses are really sharp and really good. I'm a big fan of Mamiya. If I had to be a fan of some brand, it would be Mamiya. I don't have a Mamiya 6 or 7 anymore because they're cameras that were highly priced and I just sold them because it was not worth it. Did you try the Nikon F2? Its build quality is just awesome. I hate these comments disappearing. I like it nearly as much as my M6, and it's a joy to use with a plain prism. No needle, just a plain image. I've had an f2 in my hands before. A friend has offered to loan me the camera for a little bit, but knowing that I'm oversaturated with videos and gear and developing and stuff, I haven't gone to test it. But I have been tempted to grab another SLR from Nikon. So I don't know, maybe I'll go the f2. Okay, JKL is asking the Bronica. Why did I buy the Bronica? First of all, the Bronica GS1. Okay, on paper, 6x7, smallish footprint, and believe me, it's smallish. It just, you have to remove the prism to see how small it is, which now I'll forget how to remove it. Let's see if I can remember how to take this off. The back goes off here, and the prism probably goes off somehow here. Okay, so I'm going to take off the prism just to compare sizes, okay? I don't have the waist level finder. So this is the 6x7, but it's not rotating, which means if you're shooting landscape, it's fine, but if you want to go portrait, you have to turn it. If you're using the viewfinder, you have to turn it sideways. It's impossible to use. So that's why you use the prism, because the prism lets you turn sideways easily. The size, as I'm saying, is pretty small. This lens is a 150. It's a little bigger than usual. But look at the size compared to Hasselblad. It's not much taller. It's not much thicker. It's not much longer. Do bear in mind the lens is longer than the usual. If you compare it to the 150 on a Hasselblad, it's bigger. So yeah, this camera I bought first for workshops because I think it's pretty awesome to test the camera that not a lot of people own. So I got it for that. Second, there we go. I got it because it was cheap. This camera is a 6x7 and I paid 350 euros for it, which I think is a pretty good deal. And I wanted to test it out, see what the real thing was about being, you know, one of the cheapest 6x7 cameras out there. Why were people not picking it up? I've shot it a while and I thought it was pretty fun. But then I took it out the other day for a long walk, and I have to say, I kind of became a little upset with the way it works. First of all, main design flaw, and this is huge. This is the multiple exposure thing. You don't understand how easy that is to not notice that you have it activated. When you grab the camera just to put it up with your bag, you know, the strap is here. Like, you might just be like, oh, and there, multiple exposure. On my first 4 rolls, the first shot has been multiple exposures on one single shot. So that, sorry, is a big thumbs down for Bronica. Thumbs up, not a lot of lenses, pretty cheap. The lenses are around 150 euros each. The 50 is around 200. 65 is around 150. The 100 is 150. 150 is 150. The 200 start going low in price. There is an 80 2.8, which is very expensive because they made very little amount of them. I will get my hands on one because a friend has it. I'll tell you about it. But yeah, so the main issue with it for me is the fact that, yeah, it's a 6x7, and if you want to turn it sideways, you turn it sideways. It's really weird to shoot sideways. There's no comfortable way, even with the grip, to hold sideways and shoot. Minimum focusing distance I thought was not that bad until I started using it for real compared to the Mamiya RZ I was comparing it before to. Let me lift up a Mamiya RZ. I need a lot of arms. Minimum focusing distance on this is nothing. On this, it's way too long. So not the best. Second, maximum aperture 3.5, which is not that bad, but compared to the 2.8, helps a lot. The screen is a little dimmer. Accessories are hard to find. But yeah, if you really want to get into 6x7, you have a budget that you don't want to use a lot of money. The Mamiya RZs are not that expensive. The RBs are even cheaper than that. But if you really don't want to get the mainstream RZ, RB, you can go with a Bronica. I think most people will enjoy it, but it's meant to live on a proper backpack. I took it out on a duffel bag and I almost broke my shoulder. I was carrying it inside here with an extra lens. And it fits fine. This is a Domkey, I don't know, something small, F6, I think. Olive drab. It's one of those kind of like horse wax thing, the awesome bag. So yeah, it kind of drained my shoulder a lot with the weight. I expected it to be lighter than what it was. So that's what happened with the Bronica. And that multiple exposure, come on guys. Really? Is it that easy? Why not put a little knob that you have to push to lock it and unlock it, you know? This is so easy. So effing easy. Grab gaffer's tape and tape it. First thing you do if you buy a camera like this. Second, the strap. This is an artisan's and artist strap, which I bought, I don't know, sometime I didn't have a lot of taste. I don't really like it much. But when you're gonna pick it up from a table, that's what it does. So it's pretty awful because you bang the lens. If you don't have hands, I'm a dad, I'm carrying around kids and stuff, and you're like, oh, let's pick it up, and you go, and that's your camera smashing against the floor. If you're gonna pick up an RZ 6x7, I don't have the strap here right now. There's two options. You can put the strap to hang the camera like that, or you can put the strap to hang the camera like that. And that is because the strap lugs have a little square thing in there, and you can choose what orientation you want the camera. So you can pick it up and the camera will lift this like this, unless your lens is extremely big. For example, if you're picking it up with a lens like this, it probably will be front heavy, but if not, the camera's pretty well balanced. This Bronica is not well balanced, and this is with the prism. With the waist level finder, it has to be extremely worse. So yeah, you can't even like put it down. It just doesn't want to sit down. So you have to hold it and put it down carefully on a table, on a bench, wherever you are. Let's see. Roll of film just fell. Not off the camera. These are for workshops. Then we have, as I said, Yashica 124G, awesome TLR camera. I don't use it enough, but it's awesome. Max aperture 3.5, which is not that bad. I know I was complaining about the Bronica, but a TLR 3.5 is awesome. Viewfinder is fine. You can see whatever you need to see. It's not the best. It's a little dim sometimes, but it's fine. Light meter sometimes works. You can't change lenses, but it's fine. Pretty small, and this weighs, I don't know, I feel it weighs as much as a lens cap from the Mamiya RZ. Like it's very similar in weight. So yeah, Yashica TLR, Yashica 124G. Sorry, I'm just a little overexcited, so I forget the names. Awesome camera. Can't recommend it enough. If you really want to go the Vivian Maier mood, get one of these, you won't regret. Another camera. As I said, Rolleiflex, I'm not a big fan of TLRs. Moritz said, ever tried a Lotus View camera? I have not used the Lotus View camera. I've used their film holders and they're extremely well made. I have two 4x10 film holders and I hope to go visit them at some point and make a photo story. Actually, today I got my first reply from a company to do the next photo story, and they said they were talking to their legal department to see if I could go and make a documentary. I hope, fingers crossed, I can go. It's in Europe. It's north-ish Europe, and the idea is to split it to 2 visits during this Christmas summer in August. I want to go visit Finland and a different country, which I hope I can say soon, for photo stories, and I want to document it. I'll be taking my 8x10 on that trip, documenting everything on 8x10 and video. So yeah, Yashica, yeah, great news. I really hope it works. If not, I'm gonna have to push a few more people. But I want to take off the first 10 days of August to do the 2 photo stories in one trip. It's the only month I don't work is August, so it's the best time. So Rolleiflex SL66, is one of those cameras that's like it's basically Hasselblad or this were like the main cameras at the time, but Hasselblad won the game by far, even though this camera has so much more than the Hasselblad. But I think these, I don't know why were not so popular. I would have to talk to someone that worked at the time with it. The whole fact that you can focus with bellows, as I said, bellows are amazing, and it focuses really close. And even when you think, oh, that's not so close, this camera has the option to turn the lens around and mount it the other way around. So suddenly, your camera is an ultra macro. And that, I'm sure a lot of people knew, but it's a pretty fun thing if you didn't know about that. So yeah, you can use your lens the other way around for a cheap macro lens. So the 100, is the 80, 2.8, flip it around, and you've got that. Good thing about it is the fact that it has, let me see how I say that. It has, can I take this off now? Okay, it has a focal plane shutter. So when you shoot, if I remember how to shoot, you see, I told you, my camera just doesn't want to shoot. You see, it doesn't want to shoot. And I don't know what's wrong with it. Probably that. You see? Focal plane shutter means it can shoot any kind of lenses. You can put a piece of glass here, mirror, Coke bottle, anything you want, adapt it to the front and shoot. Chinese manufacturers are making plates for this, so you can remove this, put a Copal lens, whatever you want, and, sorry, and shoot. It has a slight delay, that's what's wrong with this one. Every time I shoot, look. It's not immediate, it has a bit of a lag there. But yeah, extremely fun camera. Then, as I said, it has the tilt down and up. So down, you can see that's crooked. You have to buy a special adapter to do that. And then the other way around, up, and then that's crooked the other way around. And you can use that for your advantage or for correction. And then zero, there it's straight. Price-wise, I had one of these on sale for 500 euros a while ago because I had two of these. And it took forever to sell. So 500 euros, at least when I was selling it, was not the price point, at least I think. So yeah, around 500 bucks, you get one of these cameras. 500, 600, 700, I'm guessing. Nowadays, probably around 700. But yeah, these are pretty awesome cameras, viewfinders. Another problem, accessories. And that's one of the things I always say about cameras. Try to go with a brand that you know you can buy a lot of things if it is necessary. You don't have to buy them, but it's good to know that, for example, if you're shooting and you need something for the Hasselblad, there's a million accessories and they're all pretty much available at any time. You need a hot shoe or a flash shoe for your Hasselblad. It has an accessory that goes here. Hogarth just bought one for $1. Great deal. You want lenses, they're available, all kinds of focal lenses, focal distance, or yeah, focal plane, I'm getting it wrong. Straps, same thing. Viewfinders, backs, you can find them at any time. So yeah, that's the good thing about Hasselblad. If you're going with a Rolleiflex, go ahead right now and tell me if you can find more than 3 backs for the Rolleiflex SL66 on eBay. 3 backs in the whole of eBay. Probably won't find them. So that's the problem with the Rolleiflex compared to the Hasselblad. That's one of the reasons I didn't pass into using it a lot, because I couldn't find most things. And this one's busted. I had a second body and I sold it for very little, and hopefully the guy's using it. And then moving on to rangefinder cameras. Having owned the Mamiya 7, the 7 II, the Mamiya 6, the GW690, the Fuji GF670, and now the Fuji GW 680. I have to say, this is probably my favorite of them all. First benefit, no electronics. This camera is fully manual. It uses nothing but mechanics. Second, it's a 6x8 camera, so it has a super fun format. It's not this typical 6x7 or typical 6x9. 6x9, as you know, is 2x3, which is the same proportion as 35, which I find very interesting, but when shooting this, I don't like it so much. This camera was not too expensive. These rangefinder cameras go around 500 bucks. If you've looked at the prices of the Mamiya 7 and the Mamiya 6, Mamiya 6 is around $1,000 if you can find it. If not, it's 1.2 to 1.3, and the Mamiya 7 has gone up to, like, the old version is like 1.5, and the newer version, the 7.2, which is not that new, but it's the last version, are going up to 2,000 and up. You can buy 4 of these for that. These were made in 6x8, 6x7, 6x9. Same size of the body. What changed was the back and the number of shots you would get. Here you would get 9 exposures. If you're using the 6x9, you get 8. If you're using the 6x7, you get 10. This is an awesome camera. It has a built-in lens hood that lets you see the speed and the aperture. I've seen someone buy this saying it was broken, and the guy said, like, did this, and the seller was surprised. So yeah, awesome camera. Leaf shutter, so you can use the flash up to a 500th of a second, which is the max speed on this camera. But yeah, awesome camera. I can't recommend it enough. It's pretty awesome. It even has a, how do you call it? A shutter here on the side, so you can shoot here instead of here. You can, like, press here. So you can shoot it with the top and with the side, which is pretty awesome. Flash port here, PC flash or PC sync. But yeah, these are amazing, and the patch is good enough, and the viewfinder is clear enough. This one has a really slow helical, but yeah, you guys are focused there. It can focus closer than the Hasselblad. So yeah, they call it the Texas Leica. It's because it's huge and the quality is amazing. Fuji glass is some of the best. And I think I've covered everything. This camera, which I haven't said much about it, main problem is this. Let me show you. That's the ground glass, okay? It's 6x9. Basically, let me see if I have a loop somewhere around here. No, I don't. But let's say my loop is around the size of a roll of 120 film. It barely fits in here. And yeah, you can remove the, let me see how you did this. You can remove this and focus here, but it's so small, you hit the corners all the time. So it's really hard to compose on this small little glass. So I find it really complicated. It ends up being like a 4x5 in size and weight. This probably weighs exactly the same as a Chamonix 4x5 and such. So, and then the lenses have to go in these really small lens boards, which are hard to find and expensive, and a bit of a pain in the butt to use. So this camera is awesome if you really want to use this. If you're like doubting, don't go there. It's not the best. But if you want to use movements and you don't want to spend the money on a 4x5, still get a 4x5. You're going to be better off. If you want to shoot something like this and you're like, oh, 4x5 is too much, buy a cheap 4x5, stick a roll back, and shoot roll film with it. The benefits of shooting roll film with it is the fact that you can shoot for cheaper because roll film's cheaper. There's more emulsions and it's easier to develop at home or at a lab. So that's what I recommend. Let me see. Nikita says, that's a press camera though, looking at the grip of it. Pre-focus, small aperture, and flash bulbs, right? It pretty much is made as something like this. It even has a little shutter here that worked with these probably uber old batteries that you can't find at all anymore. But yeah, this is mostly like a press camera. It was kind of like you have a, you know, viewfinder here, rangefinder, because this one has a rangefinder. These are 2 windows for the rangefinder. So you focus through this one that has here, and then the rangefinder goes all the way here. I'm actually surprised how the hell they got it from here to here with this middle frame viewfinder. But yeah, this is a bit of a pain to use. I won't say don't get one, but having 4x5, you can just take the back off, stick a roll of film, and every time you shoot, you have to take it off, put it back on. I find it too much work for what you get on this. 6x9, 6x7, and probably some smaller formats. I've never found any smaller than 6x7. But yeah, that was the last camera that I have around here, medium format. So yeah, if you guys, I've been talking about medium format gear for 51 minutes. If you have any other questions, sorry that I've been all over the place with this. Wanted to share a bit of the reasons of what I have and why I have it. At this date, if I had to keep one single camera on medium format, out of all the ones I have, it would be for sure the Mamiya RZ. I can put up with the weight. It's heavy, but it's sturdy. It has so many options in terms of shooting portraiture, landscape, just by turning the back, focus by bellows. Lenses are pretty inexpensive. The quality of the lenses is superb. The rendering of the lens I really like. People think they're heavy, so they're pretty inexpensive. That's why I have 3 of them. One of these with the 110 was 350 euros, and not long ago, I don't think I bought it when it was cheap. One of these bodies I bought on KEH or KEH for $180, and I have the back. This is the 6x6 back. This lens I bought brand new for I think $100, so this whole thing was around $300-ish. Not this back, but a different back. Then this one I bought in the UK with the 50 lens. This is not the 50 lens. The 50mm lens that I bought was not the super cool good one. It was the normal one. The lens was, I think, 40 or 50 euros. It's somewhere down here. Yep. This is the 50 lens that I got. And it was like 40 to 50 bucks. You can see, it doesn't look too bad. It's a little used up, a little scuffed around. But this was 50 bucks. The body was $200 shipped. And I just bought the whole pack. And then, thanks to Camera Ventures or Camera Store, Cameratori, I helped them out get back a lens that was missed in communication in Spain. As a thank you, they paid me with a prism and this lens. This prism was sold as is because it was busted. I don't want to use the light meter. I just wanted to use the prism to correct the shots. So I loved it. And the lens was the 140, which is not too expensive. So yeah, this also was pretty inexpensive. These were from studio days when they used to have multiple backs. So yeah, that's the camera I would keep. Would I keep the 3 of them? Would I get the Pro 2, Pro 2D, Pro 1, or the normal RZ? Honestly, I've had the Pro 2, and yeah, it has the 2 focusing knobs. The difference is there's 1 knob, and then there's like a fine focus for close-ups. I've never had issues focusing with the normal one. I did not find it a problem. This focuses precisely enough one way or another. I've never seen one missing the teeth, because that's one thing you read online is, let's see if you can see. Here are the teeth. They say they're broken and they jump, so you skip a tooth one way or the other. None of mine, and I've had more than 8 of these cameras, have had that issue. Shutter speeds are fine with me. I can choose 250, 150. They're whole stops. I think the 2 has mid stops. Not an issue with me. Lenses, you can interchange. So yeah, the normal Pro is fine with me. No need for the Pro 2 and the extra bucks for that. You want to get a good screen to focus. My favorite one, I think, was the E, as in England. I sold it sadly when I got rid of all my medium format, and I never found it again, and now they're asking for too much money. So I live with a normal screen. I think this is my main screen. Oh, damn. Okay, you might want to know that if you by accident push the back of a Bronica lens, it pops open. That just popped open, you saw? And this is Cinestill 50D. Thankfully, I didn't wind it properly. But yeah, good to know. Great reason to not buy this camera. Even though it's locked, if you pop it here, it opens. Great. Don't buy a Bronica GS1. That just made it for me. I'm gonna have to gaffer tape that. And these are working fine. You can hear the click. Look. Look. It clicked. It doesn't, but you push it here. Oh, open. Yeah, Bronica GS1. Awesome. I thought I loved it. I think I'm not going to. Lucky that was, yeah, I know that 50D wasn't advanced. I actually thought it was. So yeah, hopefully don't get one of these, or at least maybe my back is faulty. I just banged it by accident and it popped open. So yeah, guys, there's around 3 more minutes. I'm gonna start picking all this up. But if you have any questions, let me know. And as always, I've always said it, and I'll insist, if someone comes over to Spain, I'm on the north of Spain, the part that's next to France. Anyone wants to test any of this gear at any time, give me an email, Instagram, DM, whatever way, and you can shoot, and we'll have some fun. There's nothing better to me to do than share all of this with people. One thing I haven't said, maybe someone's thinking I'm the most ridiculous YouTuber with all this gear. All this gear gets used pretty much all the time, either by me or by workshops. I did not have all of this when I started YouTube. I've had different parts of gear and I sold and bought more, but I started buying more for the workshops. My idea in my workshops is not to teach you a whole lot of stuff in terms of like artist's eye and, you know, creative, whatever. I try to teach people how to use the gear, how to get good results with their gear. Then their eye and their work is going to speak for themselves. But the idea was that at the workshop, they could test all kinds of different brands and gear that they might want to buy themselves. So that's why I've been buying slowly. That's why most of it is functional, but not perfect or mint, because I like using my gear and taking it everywhere. So yeah, if anyone ever wants to come and use it, they're more than welcome. You know, I'll pay for the first roll of film, and then if they want to use more, there's more to buy if you want to. I'm not a store, but I have a bunch of film, which I always use for workshops and stuff. But yeah, if you guys ever want to come over and test a lot of gear, you're more than welcome. One thing is next week, I'll be in London. So if everyone is around London and wants to meet, I think I'm going to be free pretty much all of Sunday and part of Saturday. So yeah, if someone wants to meet for a drink or lunch or something, I'm more than happy to meet them there. Still debating what camera to take over to the trip. It's a very much in and out of London trip. So I've been considering taking a lot or not a lot. And when you have so much gear, it's hard to choose. So yeah, guys, it's like 9:59-ish. I don't have a watch and my phone is here. But by the countdown, it's 59-ish. Thanks for joining me. Sorry that there's not been a lot of question answering. More of me rambling, but I hope you enjoyed this different setup. Next time, maybe I'll do a large format roundabout of all the gear and lenses. Jonas says take your M2. That's what I'm thinking about doing, taking my M2. But yeah, see you next week. Thanks to you all guys for this, and hopefully I'll be back online in a week. The news just uploaded while we were talking, so yeah, enjoy guys, and see you in a week. Bye guys. Oh, let me see. I always forgot. There.